name is Nancy Andrews. I'm with the Low Income Investment Fund, and I want to welcome all of you to San Francisco. I want to begin this morning by introducing the other host of the conference. There are 4 hosts, which is a record number, and it includes 2 transit agencies, the city's Metropolitan Transportation Organization and my organization, the Low Income Investment Fund. And we're kind of the unusual character in the host setup. We are a community development organization. And we are the very first community development organization that's been a host of Volution alongside regional transportation organizations. So it's very significant, we think, that in the conversations at Volution, they will be not just about transit planning and infrastructure, but also focusing very much on the idea of livable communities. We, the Low Income Investment Fund, and the community development sector are here because of a long-standing committed engagement that Bay Area agencies like BART, the San Francisco Metropolitan Transit Agency, the MTC have had in thinking broadly about community and inclusivity and bringing us along and making us a part of the mission. My co-hosts this morning are represented by Ed Ruskin, who's the director of the San Francisco MTA, Grace Kruniken, the general manager of BART, and Jake McKenzie, the vice chair of the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. I'd like to ask Ed and Jake each to step up and say a few words of welcome to all of you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And it's my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to San Francisco. I do that on behalf of Mayor Ed Lee, who was hoping to be here himself, but he was unable to join at the last minute, so you get me, the other Ed, instead. But we're really excited to have you all here, and I would say with all modesty and with a great amount of bias that I think Volution made a great choice in choosing San Francisco for this year's conference. Yes, thank you. There's a lot of reasons for that. One is that many people don't know this, but this is the time of year when the weather is the best in San Francisco, and any of you who were here over the weekend, and probably many of you were able to experience that. Just beautiful, warm, sunny weather. Most people don't know it. It's usually not like that here, and if you come in June or July, you'd be perhaps sadly disappointed, but this is a great time to be here. We had Fleet Week. Of course, one of our local teams is in the playoffs. So it's an exciting time. It's a great time to be in San Francisco, but I think it was also a great choice to have the conference here because there's a lot of great things that are happening in the region. We have, I think, as represented by the makeup of the host committee, we have a great regional collaboration here, and I think it's getting better as we go along. We do have a booming economy. We have an amazing array of transit and a lot of great things that you can see in our streets in terms of bike infrastructure and transit infrastructure and walkable neighborhoods and communities, not just here in San Francisco, but across the region. So I think there's a lot to see, hopefully a lot to learn from, and likewise, we hope to be able to learn a lot from you. But when the local host committee and the national steering committee were thinking about this conference, we're thinking about not just, let's talk about all the great things we're doing, which is always something we want to do at conferences and share best practices, but really acknowledge and focus on some of the challenges that we're all having as cities and regions around the country. And for us, despite the fact that the economy is booming and we're kind of 5 years into declining unemployment rate, a lot of cranes in the sky, a lot of good things happening, we have our challenges as well. Our transportation infrastructure, particularly our transit infrastructure, is suffering from decades of lack of investment. We're asking our voters 4 weeks from now to help us reverse that trend to the tune of something on the order of $19 billion for the region, which will help. but we have significant challenges in just meeting today's needs, let alone future needs. We have, as many of you do, an increasing affordability crisis. We have a continually and intransigent homeless challenge here. We have a housing crisis. We have increasing racial tension that we're seeing in many parts of the country. So we have our challenges. So what we are hoping that we can get out of this conference here, Volution, and also beyond as we go back to our day jobs, is for us to really think about how what we do can address some of those challenges. And it's not to say that transportation and planning and development are magic bullets for any of these very, very difficult and challenging issues, but I do think they're absolutely, they can and should be part of the solution, and we should use a lens of how do we make our cities not just more livable, but more equitable and more livable for everybody who lives in them, particularly those who are most economically challenged. How do we make the work that we do serve those folks, eliminate the inequities, and make our cities better places for everyone? So that's our challenge here today. That's our work beyond the conference, but I have great confidence that from the work we'll do here at Volution, we'll be able to generate some new ideas, new solutions, new things that we can do to do that hard work that lies ahead. So thanks everyone for coming. I hope you all have a great conference.
Good morning to all of you. How are you doing so far? It's very difficult to see you all in the glare of the Klieg lights here or the spotlights or whatever, but I will do my best. You don't know who I am because I'm not in the program. Steve Hemminger's in the program, and you'll meet him later on, and he has his bio in here. I don't have my bio in here. It's a very distinguished one, and you can... Steve asked me to tell a few jokes, so this is my chance to do my however many minutes Ed had. I'll use up his minutes as well. But my name is Jake McKenzie, and it's spelled M-A-C-K-E-N-Z-I-E, all one word with a wee K. So why am I here without a bio? Because my chair couldn't be here. And what does the vice chair do when the chair can't be here? The vice chair nobly steps in and accepts the challenge of welcoming you all to this 9-county area known as the Bay Area. You've heard sung the praises of San Francisco. Let me sing you the praises of Sonoma County, from whence I came this morning, having gotten myself up at about 5 o'clock, having realized that the SMART train isn't running yet, so I couldn't get on the platform in Rohnert Park and catch the DMU down to the Larkspur Landing and take the ferry over here in what would be a civilized manner. Now, that would be fine, except you can't do that. And I can't take the 72 bus to get in here, which I normally would do, because I have a transportation meeting back in Sonoma County at 1:30 in the afternoon. So that meant I had to drive the wee car in here, the Miata. And that's always fun. Let's see, 6 o'clock in the morning. Hey, no problems in the Bay Area? Wrong. Going through Petaluma, gridlock. What's happening in Petaluma? The 101 isn't getting widened, and it's not going to get widened for a wee while because the California legislature has been somewhat dilatory in its duties of providing funding for transportation infrastructure. Sound familiar? Well, it's worse in California than it is with the rest of you all, I can tell you. And then the sun does always shine in San Francisco, except this morning coming over the Golden Gate Bridge. The fog was right down in the bridge. I had my windshield wipers on. I had to watch all these crazies driving on the slick pavement, but I did make it in here, and I am just so delighted on behalf of MTC to welcome you. But that's not all. You're in the land of 28 transit authorities. Just imagine, it's like being in Macedonia and Albania and Kosovo. Where else? 28, just imagine that. Isn't that a grand idea to balkanize the transit agencies? I said I wouldn't say that, but I thought, what the hell? It's the truth. Oh, and while we're at it, we moved into a new building, MTC, we did, in downtown San Francisco, and that's very grand. And at the same time, we're undertaking the task of amalgamating the Council of Governments and the Metropolitan Planning Organization. So as we are here, people are working away to amalgamate the staffs of ABAG and MTC, and we are looking forward to a more consolidated function. So at least instead of 2, there will be 1. But whether there'll ever be 1 instead of 28, who the hell knows? So you're all going to have a grand time. Some of you have signed up to come over to Larkspur tomorrow afternoon to see the Sonoma Marin Area Rail Transit, which will be the first new transit service using DMUs up and down the old Northwest Pacific Line, hopefully operating by the end of the year. And so we will see. But tomorrow, if you have a chance, come over and join us there. And in the meantime, the 9 Bay Area counties are your oyster, and MTC welcomes you. Thank you very much.